Hi, welcome to Crime Talk new episodes. Today, we will dive in the bustling metropolis of Hong Kong, where space is a luxury and privacy is rare. A chilling tale of crime and deception unfolded in the most unexpected way. It was a story that would send shivers down the spines of those who thought they knew this city's every nook and cranny. Abby Choi, a 28-year-old woman born into a wealthy Hong Kong family, was at the heart of this story. Her life seemed ordinary, albeit privileged, on the surface. She had followed in her mother's footsteps and become a successful model, gracing the covers of magazines and strutting down fashion runways. At the tender age of 18, she had entered into matrimony and soon became a mother of two. However, the marriage was short-lived, lasting only from 2016 to 2019. Yet, despite the divorce, Abby maintained a remarkably close bond with her first family, particularly her ex-husband and her father-in-law. What set Abby's life apart was a seemingly mundane yet incredibly significant decision she made. She purchased a luxurious 4-bedroom apartment in one of Hong Kong's most affluent areas, worth a staggering $1 million. What made this acquisition truly unusual was that she registered the property in her father-in-law's name, who was a retired police officer. This act wasn't merely a financial transaction. It was a testament to the enduring bond she shared with her first family. But in February 2021, while Abby was thousands of miles away in Paris, the city of love, for fashion events and glamorous gatherings, a sinister plot was being meticulously planned back in Hong Kong. The plan was horrifyingly straightforward: to murder Abby. However, in a city where living quarters were compact, surveillance cameras were ubiquitous, and every square inch of space came at a premium. Disposing of a body became an unparalleled challenge. The story took a dark turn when Abby mysteriously vanished. It began as a typical day, with Abby preparing to take her daughter to school in the afternoon. Her brother, a taxi driver, was supposed to be their chauffeur for the day. However, as Abby left home that fateful afternoon, she never reached the school. The wheels of the sinister plot had been set in motion. In the midst of Hong Kong's bustling streets and towering skyscrapers, a woman had disappeared without a trace. Abby's absence sent shockwaves through her family, including her ex-husband and her current husband. Panic and despair gripped them as they initiated a frantic search. As night descended with each passing hour, their worry deepened, and they finally reported her missing to the police. The police, faced with a perplexing case, began their investigation by questioning family members, who were initially cooperative but later grew increasingly suspicious. Among those under scrutiny was Abby's ex-husband, her father-in-law, and her brother-in-law, who had a history of working with the Hong Kong police, making the case even more convoluted. Days turned into a nerve-wracking ordeal as the search for Abby continued. This peculiar case exposed the complexities and challenges of life in densely populated Hong Kong, where even the most heinous of crimes could not escape the watchful eyes of surveillance cameras. As the investigation unfolded, a sinister web of deceit began to unravel. The surveillance cameras painted a different picture from the alibis provided by the suspects. They revealed that Abby's ex-husband, father-in-law, and brother-in-law had not been where they claimed to be. Instead, they had been captured on camera leaving the city. The investigators traced their movements through the surveillance footage, leading them to a quiet village 35 kilometers away from Hong Kong's bustling center. There, they entered a nondescript 3-story house, one that had been strategically rented for this nefarious purpose. The lease for the house was, interestingly, in Abby Choi's name. As the police delved further into the heart of this eerie house, they discovered a chilling array of items. In the kitchen, amidst the typical pots and pans, they stumbled upon a meat grinder, an electric saw, various types of choppers, and a chillingly incongruous hammer. The presence of these tools hinted at sinister purpose that sent shivers down the spines of the investigators. However, the most haunting discovery was yet to come. Abby's distinctive purple bag, the very one she had left home with on the day she vanished, was found in the house. It was a grim indication of what might have transpired within those walls. The house stood as a silent witness to the horrors that unfolded on that fateful day. As the investigation pressed forward, it was discovered that the stove in the house had been used to prepare a gruesome concoction. 2 large pots contained a chilling soup, brimming with floating vegetables, such as green radishes and carrots. The sight alone was enough to make even the seasoned police officers' stomachs churn. However, the true horror lay beneath the surface of that simmering pot. A closer examination revealed a grisly revelation. A piece of a head was found in one pot, while other body parts were discovered in the other. The soup, once intended to erase any trace of the heinous act, now served as a macabre reminder of the sinister plot. The pots, along with their gruesome contents, were promptly secured as evidence. But the search for Abby Choi's whereabouts continued, leading the investigators to a chilling discovery that would unearth the darkest aspects of human nature. In the heart of Paris, amid the glitz and glamour of fashion events, the plot took yet another sinister turn. Information reached a dedicated team of law enforcement officers who were informed of Abby's disappearance in Hong Kong. The revelation led to the apprehension of several family members implicated in her disappearance. Interrogations began, each layer of deceit being peeled away one by one. However, the crucial piece of the puzzle was still missing: the body of Abby Choi. The investigators learned that 2 individuals from the house in the village had been frequenting a graveyard on the outskirts of the city. This graveyard, a desolate and eerie place, was where they confessed to having buried the rest of Abby's body. Their intentions were nothing short of chilling. They had planned to cook her body and obliterate all evidence of the heinous crime. But the police were closing in, step by step. One by one, the culprits involved in this gruesome act were apprehended, including Abby's former husband, Kwong Kong-chi. However, he managed to elude capture for 2 days. Attempting to escape to another country via a speedboat off the coast of Hong Kong, finally, he was apprehended, and all the suspects were taken into custody, each facing the grim reality of the crimes they had committed. The interrogation continued, revealing a plot as dark as the Parisian night. The mother-in-law of Abby Choi, when questioned, narrated a horrifying story that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. On that ominous February 21st, she had been on her way to pick up her daughter from school. Abby's brother-in-law, who happened to be a taxi driver, offered her a ride in his 7-seater car. Suddenly, as if driven by a malevolent force, he deviated from the planned route and entered a tunnel. It was there, in the depths of that tunnel, that he made the gruesome decision to switch vehicles. In the moving car, he launched a vicious attack on his own sister-in-law, Abby Choi. It was a moment of unimaginable brutality as he struck her down with a heavy object, ending her life right there in the car. The tunnel, once a passageway for countless commuters, had now become a sinister crime scene. With Abby's life extinguished, her brother-in-law had a plan that would lead to even darker depths of depravity. He had already prepared for this moment by renting a 2-room flat far from the city's prying eyes. With calculated precision, he transported Abby's lifeless body to this remote location. Draped in a black raincoat and wearing a face shield, he set to work. He knew that every detail mattered, that leaving any trace of his heinous act behind could spell his downfall. With meticulous care, he dismembered Abby's body, taking extreme measures to ensure that no blood or other incriminating evidence clung to his clothes or hair. It was a horrifying process that would haunt the investigators for years to come. After the gruesome act was completed, the body parts were stored in the refrigerator of the remote flat. it was a grotesque sight, one that defied belief. The unsuspecting neighbors had no idea of the horrors that lurked behind the closed doors of that unassuming building. But secrets have a way of surfacing, no matter how well they are hidden. In this chilling tale, the truth was revealed when the police scrutinized CCTV footage. The suspects, in their attempts to cover their tracks, had unknowingly left behind a digital trail that would lead to their undoing. The investigators uncovered the shocking truth that the suspects had been involved in the disappearance of Abby Choi. The evidence was undeniable, and the culprits had no choice but to confess to their heinous crime. The motive behind this gruesome act was not a crime of passion, but rather a cold, calculated bid for a luxury apartment worth millions of dollars. Local media reports suggested that Abby Choi could have been murdered over a luxury property dispute. She had purchased the apartment during happier times in the name of her father-in-law. However, as her relationship soured, she decided to sell the apartment, a decision that did not sit well with her ex-husband and father-in-law. In their twisted logic, they believed that if Abby were no longer alive, no one could contest the property's ownership. As the investigation continued to unfold, it became increasingly clear that this story was not just about a murder in a city known for its low crime rate. It was a chilling tale of greed, betrayal, and the depths to which human nature could sink when driven by obsession and avarice. In Hong Kong, a place where living space was a precious commodity, the struggle for every square inch extended beyond the realm of real estate. The quest for space had turned into a matter of life and death, as a luxurious property became the catalyst for a horrifying chain of events. The initial punishment for murder in Hong Kong had once been death. However, the laws had since changed, and the maximum penalty for even multiple murders was now life imprisonment. All the culprits involved in Abby Choi's murder found themselves facing the prospect of spending the rest of their lives behind bars. The story of Abby Choi, a young woman whose life was tragically cut short, serves as a stark reminder that even in the most seemingly peaceful and prosperous of cities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface. It is a tale that underscores the relentless pursuit of justice, even in a place where crime is a rare and unwelcome guest. As the case of Abby Choi heads to trial, the full extent of the investigation will be laid bare, shedding light on the intricate web of deception and betrayal that led to her untimely demise. In the heart of Hong Kong, where space is a coveted treasure, the chilling story of Abby Choi's murder will continue to send shivers down the spines of those who dare to delve into its darkest corners.